Welcome to UCD Scholarcast. The following lecture in the series Archaeologies of Art will be given by Kevin O'Dwyer, Artist in Residence at the 6th World Archaeological Congress.
I come to this session wearing two hats, that of an artist whose work has been influenced by archaeology and the artefacts of Ireland and Europe, as well as the director-curator of a sculpture park located in Lough Boora in County Offaly. My responses will be based on my own experience as an artist practitioner and the experience gained from working with both Irish and international artists who have created new artworks that respond to the rich environmental, archaeological and industrial history of Lough Boora in County Offaly. Hopefully I'll be able to shed some light on artistic practice and the process in which artists develop their concepts. Artistic practice, like archaeology and the sciences, is based on research as well as life experiences and our interaction with our environment. My personal view as an artist is that I feel the essence of art practice is the process by which the self is made visible. The self being a complex and multidimensional snapshot of both past and present generations of human existence. It is through the physical, spiritual, and intellectual experience of human existence that the world is comprehended and expressed. Over the past 25 years, my artwork has explored the subtleties of ritual and imagination. It is influenced by a childhood that was divided between the old world and the new world, by written and oral research as well as man-made interventions in the landscape. In archaeological terms, I may be classified as a hunter and gatherer. I hunt, gather, and process the finds through drawings and maquettes that form the visual vocabulary that I use in my studio. I take from both worlds and create work that is timeless and responsive to the human spirit. The combination of textured surfaces and flowing lines that has resonance with our past and the strong, austere forms of modern architecture speak to me. My forms are stripped down to the bare essence of what responds to my aesthetic, which has been both assimilated consciously through observation and trial and error as well as subconsciously and instinctual. I create in the three dimensions, and although the scale of the work that I'm presenting would be classified as artifacts, I see them in the landscape as easily as in a museum display case. I am an object maker. The ritual of creating in my workshop is no different from that of an artist in the Bronze Age. We explore the tactile qualities of the material as well as the forms that speak to us. We are inspired, challenged, and influenced by the past as well as our experiences and interaction with the world around us. I am continually taking note of the relationship between the man-made and the natural. I observe how forms on our landscape interact with each other, how light, seasonal change, and human interaction create yet another dimension to artwork. As director and curator of sculpture in the Parklands, I have been an observer of artistic practice as opposed to directly involved in it. Lough Boora Parklands is a large, unencumbered landscape that has a history that dates back to Mesolithic man, with a rich monastic history from the 6th century, and a landscape that has been used for the industrial harvesting of peat from the 1940s into the 1990s. The sculpture park is located in a cutaway bog, that is a brownfield site, that has been brought back to life over the past 10 years through the introduction of lakes and wetland habitats. The sculpture project was initiated in 2001, and the first artworks were installed during the International Sculpture Symposium in 2002, when 6 Irish and international artists came on site to create 8 large-scale site-specific sculptures. The success of the symposium led to the formation of Sculpture in the Parklands, a 50-acre sculpture park which continues to invite artists to create significant site-specific works of art during the residency program. Besides permanent and time-based work, the project has a commitment to commissioning video artists, composers, writers, and performance artists to interpret and document this unique landscape, archaeology, and industrial history. Invited artists visit the site 6 to 12 months in advance of their residency for research purposes. They return to the studios to continue to research and develop the concept for the sculpture park. The artists work on-site for 3 weeks to create permanent or temporary work. I have selected some artistic responses that are interesting studies on how artists respond to this landscape and heritage and provide future opportunities for collaborative projects between archaeological and artistic practice. Eileen McDonough's work, which is made from the glacial stone of 10,000 years ago, was unearthed during the reclamation process. During this reclamation process, the landscape is actually replowed and glacial stone is brought up from over 10,000 years ago. Eileen wanted to use this stonework in her sculpture and created a large pyramid that reflects the time frame when Mesolithic man was found on this site over 10,000 years ago. Jorn Renaud, a Danish sculptor, came over in 2002 to work on a special project, and his piece is entitled Boora Triangle. This is a piece that's made of the bogwood, yew and pine that is carbon dated over 4,000 years ago. He was influenced by the monastic sites around the area, including Clonmacnoise and St. Mansion's Cell in Lee Monaghan, and he created a place for contemplation as per the earlier sites. Marion Jorgensen's work is influenced by the Clonmacnoise grave slabs and is a contemporary prior message that was a reaction to the invasion of Iraq. The words that surround the actual grave slab cross are love, war, hate, and peace. Karen Madden was influenced by the early kingship of Ireland and the cyclical nature of land and mankind and their interaction with it. Her piece is entitled Cycles. Johan Sleetsma, a Dutch artist, was taken by the large bogwood finds, the tree trunks that were found underneath the peat, and his pieces relate to the great forests of Ireland, which were there over 4,000 years ago. The trees come out of the ground, reaching the level of the landscape before the industrial harvesting of this peat complex. They stand in the landscape like Neolithic standing stones that were found in the landscape thousands of years ago. Mike Bofin's work is more about the industrial heritage of the landscape. He has childhood memories of watching the trains go by with the peat that was brought to the power stations during the electrification of Ireland in the early 1950s. His piece, Sky Train, is parts of trains that were found and memories of his time as a child in the Boora area. Dave Cannan's piece, Boora Convergence, is more a reaction to the loss of the wonderful iconic cooling towers that were found in the landscape. The Forband cooling towers were blown up a number of years ago, and his piece is a celebration and a memory of this great industrial complex that no longer exists. In June 2008, Sculpture in the Parklands invited Patrick Doherty to create a large-scale environmental piece. Patrick Doherty, world-renowned environmental artist, well known for his use of sustainable materials, created a large walk-through sculpture out of 18 tons of willow. Over the coming years, we will further explore the relationship between archaeological and artistic practice as part of an EU cultural program entitled Land Art Transformation. This is a collaboration between Sculpture in the Parklands and UCD Archaeology Department, exploring the themes of landscape transformation, human agency, and environmental and ecological sustainability, providing an opportunity for land art interventions within the rich and diverse cultural landscape of the Midlands of Ireland, allowing for academic and artistic investment in local communities in Offaly through the provision of public lectures, research, and residencies. Our first artist in residence for 2009 will be Alfio Bonanno, and he will respond to this rich Mesolithic site that is found on the Lough Boora Parklands.
You've been listening to Kevin O'Dwyer, Artist in Residence at the 6th World Archaeological Congress. A transcript of this lecture can be found at www.ucd.ie/Scholarcast.